about the SI 60 onwards. Once the oil is used in the circuit in a closed loop, many times it will be compressed, expanded, it will be taken to the tank. What happens? It will be heated. Once the oil is heated, it will be losing its the flowability. And what happens? The specific due to this heat, what happens? It will be losing. It will try to lose some of the thermal properties, and it will become useless. So in between, we are going to use, for example, in the countries like the Arab countries, there the temperature of the working or the atmosphere will go up to 40 degrees centigrade. There in the case, the cooling towers will be used. Okay, these are some of the general concepts which I wanted you to remember, because practically I have used them. Pneumatic systems will be using air as a working medium, and hydraulic systems will be using oil as working medium. And what about the leakage? If there is a leakage in the hydraulic system, the pneumatic system, there will not be much more problem. There will not be much more problem, because the leakage will be quite common in the pneumatic systems. In a very big companies, if you got into, because where I worked and where I manufactured the machines, there 99% of all the machineries will be using the pneumatic systems. Always there will be chilling sound. The pneumatic air will be leaking, and whatever the extent you are going to avoid the leakage, we cannot able to avoid the leakage of the pneumatic airs. So the effect is not much more, and there will be slight pressure drop, and that will be compensated by having the higher capacity reservoir of the air compressed air. In case of this the hydraulic system, due to leakage, what happens? The hydraulic oil, since it will be recirculated many times, the capacity based on the design, based on the type of cylinders we are going to use, the amount of liquid which is required at a time, based on that we are going to decide how much of oil has to be reserved in the tank. Okay, if there is a leakage, what happens? Frequently you have to fill up the oil, one thing. And another one, the oil, you know that in the floor space it will be creating very dust, it will be creating the skidding this one, and the floor space will not be clean enough. This is one of the thing. And the leakage of this the leakage or presence of these pneumatic systems will not be hazardous. Okay, and they are unsafe in case of hydraulic systems. Fire hazards. Okay, these oils at ultimate temperature, what happens? They'll catch fire. Okay, this will be unsafe in use. And in case of this, I'm talking about the open loop and closed loop. You can see that every time fresh air will be drawn from the compressor tank, and it will be used. Okay, it will be used in case of the pneumatic systems. In case of this hydraulic system, the same oil will be, once it is used, it will be sent for the filtering once again, and it will be sent to the reservoir tank. Before it's sent there, it will be cooled down and it will be taken. So it will be closed loop and it will be open loop in case of the air compressors. In case of the hydraulic system, it will be closed loop. The same oil will be used. It will be costlier. And in case of this, the pneumatic systems, it is not possible to provide a very high pressurized air based on the demand. But here it is possible to create the high pressure oil based on the demand. There will be a pressurizing circuit in the circuit itself. We can have the pressurizing accessories. Those will be creating this pressure. Okay, and these the pneumatic systems will be quite suitable for the low pressure applications, and these hydraulic systems will be quite suitable for the high pressure applications. And the air compressor, the air system or pneumatic system they are using, those components will be quite low cost as compared to the hydraulic systems. And hydraulic systems, they will be having a very high cost as compared to the electrical and pneumatic systems. Okay, and the valve operation is easier in case of the pneumatic system, and it will be difficult in case of the hydraulic systems, because the practical views, if you look into, you can understand the valve operation will be quite difficult. Okay, manually it is not possible to operate them. Okay, and a specific arrangement for the lubrication are needed. That if you can able to remember or understand, in the beginning I told, in the pneumatic circuitry, there will be waterlet separators will be there. Immediately after that, there will be oil bath. The compressed air is made to flow through this oil bath. What happens? The small particles of oil also will be carried along with this compressed air, so that it will be creating a self lubrication within the mechanical components. Okay, and this hydraulic system itself is a lubricant, and it doesn't require additional lubricant or lubrication. So this is the differences between the hydraulic and pneumatic systems. Please try to remember. I hope you can able to remember these differences. You can able to remember these differences. Let me brush up once again. And these pneumatic systems will be using air as a working medium. Hydraulic system will be using the oil as a working medium. And the leakage cannot be avoided, and leakage doesn't have the effect in case of pneumatic system, and the leakage of the hydraulic system will be causing many problems because the pressure drop will happens frequently. You need to fill the oil, and the leakage of these pneumatic systems, leakage in the pneumatic system will be free from some of the hazards, and it will be unsafe and fire hazard in case of oil, because the oil which is heated up at high temperature and gets catch fire very easily. Okay, and these pneumatic systems will be using the open loop system, and it will be closed loop system. One can able to easily understand. Once the compressed air is taken for the point of application, it will be left to the atmosphere. But in case of oil system, the hydraulic system, oil will be used, and again it will be taken to the reservoir tank. Okay, it will be taken to the tank wherein we are going to store the oil before we compress it. Okay, and it is not possible to create a high pressure based on the demand in case of pneumatic system. It will be possible by using the additional circuitry in case of this oil system. Okay, hydraulic system. And these pneumatic systems will be quite suitable for the low pressure applications, and these hydraulic systems will be suitable for the high pressure applications. And the components of these pneumatic systems will be relatively low coster as compared to the hydraulic and electrical systems. And these hydraulic systems, the costlier as compared to the electrical and pneumatic systems. And valve operation is easier in case of the pneumatic system. It will be quite difficult in case of hydraulic systems. And here a special arrangement has to be made for the lubrication. As I told you, the circuitry at every 20 feet there will be a water separator and the oil filler. Oil, the compressor is made to flow through this oil, and this droplet of oil will also be carried along with the pneumatic air. But in the hydraulic system, the hydraulic oil working medium itself is a lubricant. It is not required to have additional lubricant at all. Okay, these are some of the differences, and additional differences we'll try to look into hydraulic and pneumatic. Hydraulic and pneumatics drives. What is it? Drive? A system which will be giving the mechanical output, which will be taking some source of input. The source of input, if it is a air, it will be pneumatic drive. If it is using hydraulic, it will be hydraulic drive. Okay, the general construction of linear actuators and rotary actuator. Basically, you say whether it is a pneumatic or hydraulic system, there will be two basic classifications. One is rotary drive, and another is the reciprocating or linear drives. The rotary drive will be rotary type. It will be just like a turbine blades. Okay, and linear will be it will be using the pistons. It will be using the piston. The piston will be reciprocating. It will be giving you the linear output, mechanical output. And the rotary actuators will be giving you the rotary mechanical output. Okay. The differences will be connections between the pneumatic systems, and fluid leaves the motor and led to the atmosphere. In case of hydraulic system, fluid leaves the motor and actuator must be returned to the tank. The similar. Once in case of the pneumatic systems, Once the air is worked, the compressed air is worked in the rotary or linear actuator, it will be led to the atmosphere. In case of hydraulic system, again it will be taken to the reservoir tank. Okay. The connections and the circuit diagram for the pneumatic and hydraulic systems will be slightly different. Okay. And the material choice for the piping element, piping line and valve component and actuators and mountings and accessories will be